Ryzen has arrived! Sort of. Hey everybody, this is Chris with Coalition Gaming, and Ryzen has officially been made official. Anyways, so Ryzen 7 has just come online, basically. Ryzen 1700, 1700X, and 1800X are available for pre-order now, and they're already leading the Amazon bestseller list. That's awesome. 1 and 2 are, I believe, the 1800X and the 1700X. Number 3 is still Intel. The number 4 is the 1700. Anyways, though, so Ryzen now officially brings a 52% IPC improvement over Piledriver. The original goal was for 40%, but this puts it more in line with Broadwell and above, as opposed to Haswell/Broadwell, this is great, obviously. That's just really awesome that they exceeded their own expectations on that, and just goes to show you how hard AMD was working on the architecture. Ryzen also supports DDR4 3600 out of the box. There is possible support for faster RAM than that. A lot of people have been wondering about that. It's been tested, or it's been leaked that they were testing with faster RAM than that, so there's a chance that through other features we might be able to get faster DDR4 support, whether unofficially or not. All current release SKUs are 8-core 16-thread, and that starts with the 1700, or rather the R7 1700. That's a 3 GHz base with a 3.7 GHz turbo. It's a 65 watt TDP, does not have XFR, and it's got a $329 price tag. It comes with an RGB Wraith Spire cooler. All the non-X models, at least from what I can gather at this point, come with it. It's not an optional thing. It's going to come with a cooler. So if it's a 1700, a 1400, or the 1200, it's going to come with the cooler in the box. At least that's what I'm gathering so far. The 1700X is the next model up the line. That's got a 3.4 GHz base with a 3.8 GHz turbo. It's a 95 watt TDP unit. XFR is enabled on this one, and it has a $399 price tag. The RGB Wraith Max cooler is optional. You can get it with or without it, and it's a $20 price difference. And then the next one down up the line is an 1800X, and that's a 3.6 gigahertz base with a 4.0 gigahertz turbo, 95 watt TDP, XFR enabled, $499 price tag, and the RGB Wraith cooler also is optional on this one. The interesting thing here is it's starting to look like the X denotes whether XFR is enabled or not. Either way though, all Ryzen processors are multiplier unlocked, so you can manually overclock it regardless of XFR. But what I'm starting to think, this is just my personal opinion, is XFR is going to denote how good it is in the binning process, because they're going to want to enable XFR on their better performers, because if you have better cooling, then it will auto overclock to a higher frequency. And I think that's more important if you're going to be factoring auto overclocking as opposed to manual overclocking. Several AM4 motherboards are already out for sale, so if you're going to be looking into getting a whole setup together, you're good there. Plenty of system integrators or boutique computer sellers, pre-assembled computers, those are also available for pre-order as well. Unfortunately, there is no release on the X300 Mini ITX chipset motherboards, but I mean, they got to be coming soon, right? Another thing that's very interesting is that it has come out that Ryzen has, I believe it was the 1800X, it has set the world record on Cinebench R15 at 5.2 gigahertz on liquid nitrogen. The score of 2,449 breaks the previous record of 2,410. It's really great that it beats that record, and it's such a great number, and it just denotes what kind of a beast this processor is. But at first glance, it looks like, oh look, you're on liquid nitrogen and you can only get to 5.2 gigahertz. What's the record on frequency? It's something like 8 gigahertz, isn't it? But think about this: those frequency world records are down to a single core most of the time. This is 5.2 gigahertz across 8 cores, not 4, not 2, not 6, but 8. So that's pretty impressive in its own right. There have been unboxings as well, and images and of the final heat spreader design. I gotta say that this is probably my favorite heat spreader design of any processor I've ever seen. It's really cool that it has Ryzen laser etched along the top of the heat spreader there. I'm not sure, I couldn't tell, but it might even have the model on there, which would be even nicer, because sometimes those are kind of hard to decipher on Intel heat spreaders, or any heat spreader, honestly. You have to find the code and Google that code in order to get it, whatever. I'd rather just look at it. But either way, it's my favorite. It looks awesome. As always, wait for benchmarks on these. Wait for reviews. It's great that all this news is coming out, and I want to say that maybe Linus's video kind of gives the most information as to how well this will perform when you let somebody just kind of mess around with settings and do their own tests right there, because most of what else is coming out is being fed from leaks and AMD themselves and all that, and they're going to puff it up. So wait for benchmarks, wait for reviews, wait until the real information comes out. XFR is something that's very interesting, but is going to need further testing. Absolutely, it's going to need a lot further testing, because it didn't really show much improvement there at the event in San Francisco. They would say that it only gave you like 100 megahertz, but I think that was only 100 megahertz with the stock cooler, which is, I mean, it's a free performance boost is what it is. But if you have better cooling, XFR needs to be further explored to see how effective it really is. Anyways, that's the video. If you guys like this video, make sure you click that like button. If you didn't like it, click that dislike button. Subscribe for more, and stay tuned, because there is always more coming. This is Chris, Coalition Gaming. See you guys.